What is up, it's a Figure Hunter, and today we're going to do initial hands-on of the Suunto Race 2, and I have some pretty exciting results off of the first initial workouts, looking at the new heart rate sensor results when worn on the wrist and doing high dynamic lifting as well as CrossFit. If you're new to the channel, I test devices for the purpose of higher intensity interval training and dynamic weightlifting versus all the running, biking, swimming videos that are out there. So trying to put these devices to the test and looking at it from like a training load tracking as well as a recovery tracking. I'm really gotten into Suunto recently. I just did a bunch of reviews for the Suunto Run device, which I think is the most feature-rich, affordable device at $250. And now we're gonna look at the Race 2. Hands-on initially versus the Race 1, sort of side-by-side, just sort of physical comparisons as versus the Race S. And then we're gonna look at the heart rate data for the first couple workouts, and that is actually super exciting for the Suunto family, and I think for optical heart rate sensors in general. So looking at the Suunto Race 2, it's got a similar build quality and design, so high quality build and design, a 49 millimeter case with now a 1.5 inch AMOLED screen, bigger than really pretty much everybody else, bigger than the predecessors, bigger than Garmin's biggest watches. The biggest feature is the new heart rate sensor that's built into it, because the original heart rate sensor on the original Race was very problematic and very poor, as well as on the Race S and even the Suunto Run for doing higher dynamic training, wrist flex, CrossFit, boot camp, those types of things where you're lifting weights dynamically across your wrist just did not hold up for that. 22 millimeter quick release. I actually super love this orange design with the sort of the burnt orange on the inlaid. I always like their bands with the little nub that locks in on the backside. Just Suunto has a commitment to high quality in their casing and their boxing. Even the Run, which was a $250 watch, had high quality casing, high quality design, and high quality boxing even that they sent with it. It has all the same basic sort of design and feel that you've seen on the Race S, as you've seen on the Race original. It just has a faster processor and obviously update a heart rate sensor and a larger screen. This is a sapphire glass, but I got the stainless steel model because I don't mind a heavy watch, and I really love the design compared to, I like the design overall, period, compared to other devices on the market. Now, when you compare it directly against the Race original, you can see that it has a similar overall sort of design and feel, although it's a 1.43 inch screen versus a 1.5. The Race original, I do like that it had these little ridges on the side because I thought that was a nice touch, even though I have a dead part of my finger on my thumb, so it never really quite scrolls very easily on that side of my thumb. So overall design is a little bit bigger with the Race original and a little more sleeker. You don't have those edges. It's definitely thinner than the Race original, which I think is a nice touch because that really adds a lot of feel to it. You can see that they fixed the problem with the lugs. The lugs came down a little bit too sharply on the Race original, which caused it to dig into the wrist of some people. And then other than that, everything else is the same other than the heart rate sensor. The Race original had a very, very poor heart rate sensor. I did find in my testing it held up fine for just day-to-day life and sleep tracking. It was the same as the other devices that I tested. But for hard workouts or any kind of intense workouts, it was just not great. So that's the Race original. And then if we were to compare it sort of side by side, just hands-on with the Race S, this is the Race S at the 1.3 inch screen and 46 millimeter casing. You can just see the Race 2 relative to that, and you can see the thickness difference relative to the Race S. The Race S is more sleek, and the Race 2 is a little bit thicker. I just like the feel overall. I like the black casing. Obviously, I do wish it had those kind of ridges it had on the original Race. But everything else functions super well, super fast, super, everything you would expect. And we're getting into the testing of it all around as we get into things now. But the bigger thing is, even relative to the Race S, you have a brand new heart rate sensor. The Race S heart rate sensor is also on the Suunto Run, and it did fine in monostructural workouts, but did not do well in higher intensity or anything with wrist flex and lifting and dynamics like that. So this new heart rate sensor, we've got to look at the first couple workouts. So Super excited about that. So in the first couple workouts, I did a lifting workout and I did a CrossFit specific workout. In the lifting workout, I did bench press, I did deadlift, I did weighted pull-ups, a lot of strain across the wrist. I did some Bulgarian split squats with dumbbells. I did some strict headstand push-ups. I did some like ring, it's not ring rows, but like kind of like ring rows and a turnover to a ring dip to practice that. I did some handstand walking. So I did a lot of different specific lifting type things. And then in the CrossFit workouts, it was not as much wrist strain. It was running and biking with toes to bar and then a weighted step over the box. So it was super high intensity though and a long time domain. So with that, let's look at what we have on the workout results. And looking at all the lifts, it had bench press and weighted pull-ups in the beginning, and then deadlifts and headstand push-ups and Bulgarian split squats. And so you can see throughout all the dynamics, it is holding the chest strap heart rate really, 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 really well. For a lifting workout, you can see a slight lag time, but that is really good. So now let's look at the CrossFit workout. Again, so super higher intensity. So this was like 160 up to 170. It did have a bobble like in the beginning, but in general, I feel like this is really good. This back half was a salt bike at sort of like a zone 2 for 25 minutes. And it is like spot on with the chest strap with a salt bike, which does have some wrist flex. And then this super high intensity portion, that's really good. So you look at these two and you think, wow, that's fantastic. And that's really solid. If you compare it to the Race S, there's the Race S on the CrossFit workout. So not good. Race S original, the Race S as well as the Run. Then you have here a CrossFit workout and here a lifting workout. So all in all, I feel really solid about the initial results for the heart rate. And I'm super fired up to deep dive on multiple tests across multiple different lifting and zone 2 workouts, as well as CrossFit and higher intensity interval training workouts. I really like the design, the feel. I think the price is not bad, but we'll talk about how I feel about it after testing it in more of a comprehensive review. But this is the initial hands-on of the Suunto Race 2 compared to itself and compared to the original Race and the Race S, as well as the initial heart rate accuracy for lifting and for CrossFit. It's a Figure Hunter. Thanks so much for watching.